Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and compatriots, let me first introduce and remind you about the magnificent Zimbabwe and its wonderful people, and then show you the contrast of the despicable but changeable reality prevailing when compared to the natural endowments thereof and the giftedness, civility, and peacefulness of its citizenry. I know some people have experienced Zimbabwe before, whether in the pre-colonial era or after colonization by Britain, and some have just heard of it, while others are yet to know about it. Zimbabwe is a southern African country endowed with an abundance of diverse minerals. It has one of the best weather conditions in the whole world, with vast arable lands and a wide range of wildlife. Zimbabwe boasts of a very well-educated population with a world-renowned literacy rate of over 90%, and is a peace-loving nation with breathtaking geographical landscape, among others. The aforementioned diverse abundant mineral resources are simply waiting for exploration, mining, and beneficiation. The weather conditions are always breezy, a welcome song to tourists all over the world. Its vast arable lands just need utilization in order to feed a considerable fraction of the world population. Its educated and literate citizenry is ready to work in any sector of the economy in various capacities. Its breathtaking geographical landscape is a must-see for anyone who wants to encounter and enjoy God's unique handwork on creation. But if you compare the aforementioned attributes and the socio-economic reality of the masses of this beautiful Southern African country, you feel an indescribable pain. Since based on the standard of living, Zimbabwe is considered among some of the poorest countries in the world. This pain becomes more excruciating, especially when you're a fellow Zimbabwean who has been exposed to the realities of the life obtained in other countries with relatively less resources than the ones aforementioned. The shameful state in which Zimbabweans are finding themselves in is a result of the fact that they've been freshly but unconsciously colonized and manipulated by their fellow greedy politicians who have transformed political parties into entrenched, selfish, self-enriching organizations at the expense of the masses. Zimbabweans are a people who have never demanded much from their government, and yet they have been treated without regard. They are tenacious workers, and yet they can't even access their hard-earned cash from the bank. Zimbabweans are hopeful, a peace-loving people, and yet their dreams and the fruits of their labor have been crushed and are being crushed into pieces. The most that the people of Zimbabwe ask for and expect is an atmosphere that affords them a normal life, and yet they are treated like non-entities. In the absence of the rule of law in Zimbabwe, it becomes scary to even fathom how we live in a fear always. Amazingly, Zimbabweans have become so entrepreneurial to such an extent that a considerable number of them are no longer looking for work or employment, but rather for formalization as well as financial, technical, and marketing support in order to establish and even expand their own enterprises, which will in turn provide revenue to the state through justifiable taxes, as well as employment for their own fellows, even from neighboring countries and beyond. As such, I come here to say that the pain, the shame, and the embarrassment that the people of Zimbabwe have been subjected to shall and must not continue in this century, way after years of barbaric slave trade and historic colonization. In this regard, I bear in mind that a sad but true factor that has made them succumb to primitive-minded and selfish, poor-performing politicians is the people's unintentional lack of political consciousness, awareness, and participation. Myself and other true patriots, through the Independent Candidate Vote campaign, therefore seek to vehemently inculcate and establish the above qualities in the masses for mutual good. The government which I'm going to establish, with the help of many other independent parliamentary candidates, and those others that the people shall consciously choose will be guided by the collective fulfillment of dreams and aspirations of individuals that inhabit our beautiful land. Our campaign seeks to conscientize Zimbabweans across the board on the meaning and impact of their individual voting decisions and the absence of subsequent casting of their precious vote on the realities of their own lives and that of the future generations. It also seeks to create and establish a vivid awareness among the people on politics, government, and leadership so that they can see how they've been manipulated and know how they can safeguard themselves from the wicked political phenomenon of impoverishment that has long prevailed in our country. I, through the Independent Vote campaign, seek to encourage and promote political literacy so that people are equipped to make conscious, informed political decisions and then empower them to demand results and accountability even from myself and others in the administration of our beloved country. We are here to tell Zimbabweans to dream again, to love again, to work again, and not be discouraged anymore, for the reward of their patient, hard work and peacefulness is at hand, in fact, just a few months away. Therefore, I'm urging Zimbabweans to vote with their dreams in mind, with their children at heart, with their future in sight, so that with other developed and developing countries, as a nation, we can walk side by side. I know the people of Zimbabwe can do much for themselves, as history has proven already. And so, what they want is a platform which is conducive and rewarding for them to display and showcase their abilities and giftedness without being mistaken for political competition by those who erroneously believe that they have been created to rule and not represent others. I am here to tell Zimbabweans that when you're casting a vote, you are like a person buying shares in an organization and is thus entitled to a say in the administration of that organization and to benefit from the profits of the same. These profits are then used for personal subsistence and development for yourself and of your custodians. On that note, let me tell you that in the international community, there are excess funds in the form of foreign direct investment, which are ready to flow into our country at any moment from now, if we put our house in order and prove to the world that we are accountable, transparent, civil, intelligent, and professional enough to manage our country. I am a promising, young, hopeful candidate, the kind of president you need right now, and most importantly, the president you deserve. With me as your president, we'll be on an irreversible trend towards more freedom and democracy. Vote for me and let's make tomorrow a better future. Thank you.